تحت الكساء فقال له وعليك السلام يا أخي ويا وسيي ويا خليفتي وصاحب اللواء قد أذنت لك فدخل علي تحت الكساء اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد ثم أتيته نحو الكساء وقلت السلام عليك يا أبتاه يا رسول الله أتأذن لي لأن أكون معكما تحت الكساء فقال وعليك يا بنتي ويا بزة قد أذنت لك فدخلت تحت الكساء فلما اكتملنا جميعا تحت الكساء أخذ أبي رسول الله بطرف الكساء وأومى بيد اليمنى إلى السماء وقال اللهم عني هؤلاء أهل البيت وخاصتي وهامتي لحمهم لحمي ودمهم دمي يؤلمني ما يؤلمهم يحزنني ما يحزنهم أنا حرم لمن حاربهم وسلم لمن صالبهم وعدو لمن عاداهم لمحبهم أحبهم إنهم مني وأنا منهم فاجعل صلواتك وبركاتك ورحمتك وغفرانك ورضوانك علي ولا يعذب عنهم الرجس أهل طاهرهم تطهيرا الله صلى الله. فقال الله عز وجل يا ملائكتي يا سكان السماوات إني ما خلقت السماء ولا أرضا مدية ولا قمرا منيرا ولا شمسا مزية ولا فلكا يدور ولا بحرا يجري ولا فلكا يسري إلا في محبة هؤلاء الخمسة الذين هم تحت الكساء فقال الأمين جبرائيل يا ربي ومن تحت الكساء فقال عز وجل هم أهل البيت نبوة ومعدن الرسالة هم فاطمة أبوها وبالها وبنوها اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. فقال الله جبرائيل يا ربي يتأذن لي لأن أدخل أهل الأرض ليكون معهم سادسا فقال الله نعم قد أذنت لك فدخل الأمين جبرائيل وقال السلام عليك يا رسول الله علي الأعلى يكر السلام بالحياة والإكرام ويقول لك عزتي وجلالي إني ما خلق السماء ولا أرضا مدية ولا خمرا منيرا ولا شمسا مزية ولا فلكا يدور ولا بحرا يجري ولا فلكا يسري إلا لجيكم محبتكم وقد أذن لي لأن أدخل معكم فهل تأذن لي يا رسول الله فقال رسول الله وعليك السلام يا أمين وهي الله أنه نعم قد أذنت لك فدخل معه تحت الكساء اللهم صل على محمد. فقال لأبي إن الله قد أوحى إليكم أن يقولوا إنما يريد الله ليذهب عنكم رجس أهل البيت يطهرهم تطهيرا اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. فقال علي لأبي يا رسول الله أخبرني ما لجسنا هذا تحت الكساء من الفضل عند الله فقال النبي والذي باسني بالحق نبي واصطفاني بالرسالة نجي ما ذكرنا وخبرنا هذا في محفل من محافل أعلى العرش وفيه جمع من شيعتنا محبين إلا ونزلت عليهم الرحمة وحفت بهم الملائكة واستغفرت له إلا أن تفرقوا فقال علي عزم والله فزنا وفاز شيعتنا ورب الكعبة اللهم صل على محمد. فقال النبي ثانيا يا علي والذي بعثني بالحق نبي واصطفاني بالرسالة النجي ما ذكرنا خبرنا هذا في محفل من محافل أعلى العرش وفيه جمع من شيوتنا محبين فيه مهموم إلا وفرج الله همه ولا مهموم إلا وكشف الله غمه ولا طالب حاجة إلا قضي حاجته فقال علي وزم الله فزنا وسعدنا وكذلك شيوتنا فازوا سعدوا في الدنيا والآخرة ورب الكعبة.
Please recite aloud salawat. MashaAllah, that was Brother Abbas Razvi with an amazing recitation of Hadith Qissa. This is Brother Ali Abbas who's going to be reciting our first salawat. Please recite aloud salawat.
نکلا ہے جنازہ کوئی اللہ کے گھر سے نکلا ہے جنازہ کوئی اللہ کے گھر سے افلاک میں ایک شور ہے ماتم کے اثر سے نکلا ہے جنازہ کوئی اللہ کے گھر سے افسوس کے مسجد میں نمازی گیا مارا افسوس کے مسجد میں نمازی گیا مارا کچھ کم نہیں یہ حشر قیامت کے اثر سے نکلا ہے جنازہ کوئی اللہ کے گھر سے زینب سے یہ کہہ دو کہ وہ دل کھول کے روئے زینب سے یہ کہہ دو کہ وہ دل کھول کے روئے شبیر کی ہمشیر ہے رونے کو نہ ترسے نکلا ہے جنازہ کوئی اللہ کے گھر سے شبیر کو یاد آ گئی خود اپنی سکینہ شبیر کو یاد آ گئی خود اپنی سکینہ زینب کو ہٹایا گیا جب لاش پدر سے نکلا ہے جنازہ کوئی اللہ کے گھر سے، یاد آ گیا زینب کو وہ پہلو شکستہ، یاد آ گیا زینب کو پہلو شکستہ، رومال ہٹایا گیا حیدر کے جو سر سے، نکلا ہے جنازہ کوئی اللہ کے گھر سے، اب شام غریباں میں ملوں گی تو میں بابا، اب شام غریباں میں ملوں گی تو میں بابا، زینب نے لپٹ کر کہا یہ لاش پدر سے، نکلا ہے جنازہ کوئی اللہ کے گھر سے، شبیر کیوں روتے ہو میرے زخم پہ بیٹا، شبیر کیوں روتے ہو میرے زخم پہ بیٹا، یہ زخم زیادہ نہیں اکبر کے جگر سے، نکلا ہے جنازہ کوئی اللہ کے گھر سے، افلاک میں ایک شور ہے ماتم کے اثر سے، صلوات۔
MashaAllah, this was a beautiful recitation of Salam by Brother Ali Abbas. Next, I would like to request Brother Raza Naqvi to come and recite Salam. Please recite aloud Salawat.
محمد وعلی محمد صلوات۔ رخ سے ایک بار کفن اور ہٹا دو بھیا، میرے بابا کا مجھے چہرہ دکھا دو بھیا، میرے بابا کا مجھے چہرہ دکھا دو بھیا، آج بابا جو میرے گھر سے چلے جائیں گے، پھر مجھے شام غریبہ میں نظر آئیں گے، اتنے دن کیسے گزاروں گی بتا دو بھیا، میرے بابا کا مجھے چہرہ دکھا دو بھیا، جیسے اماں کی رضا میں تھی شفانہ کی، کیا یہ ممکن ہے کہ اٹھ جائے میرے بابا بھی، میری چادر میرے بابا کو اڑا دو بھیا، میرے بابا کا مجھے چہرہ دکھا دو بھیا، کیسے بتلاؤں یہ دل غم سے پھٹا جاتا ہے، کیا جدا باپ سے ہو کر بھی جیا جاتا ہے، اپنی بہنوں کو فقط اتنا بتا دو بھیا، میرے بابا کا مجھے چہرہ دکھا دو بھیا، غم میں بابا کے تڑپتا ہے، ذرا دیکھو تو دور بیٹھا ہے، بلا لاؤ میرے غازی کو، پاس کچھ دیر تو با کے بٹھا دو بھیا، میرے بابا کا مجھے چہرہ دکھا دو بھیا، خون بابا کی جبیں سے وہ گرا تھا جس پہ، اپنے بابا کی نشانی میں بنا لوں گی اسے، میرے بابا کا مصلی مجھے لا دو بھیا، میرے بابا کا مجھے چہرہ دکھا دو بھیا، گھر سے جاتا تھا جنازہ جو علی کا باہر، بیٹیا کہتی تھی ذیشان و رضا رو رو کر، آخری بار تو با سے ملا دو بھیا، میرے بابا کا مجھے چہرہ دکھا دو بھیا، رخ سے ایک بار کفن اور ہٹا دو بھیا، میرے بابا کا مجھے چہرہ دکھا دو بھیا. محمد وعلی محمد صلوات.
MashaAllah, this was Brother Raza Naqvi who was reciting Salam in his beautiful voice. For Marcia, I would like to request Brother Ali Mehdi Kazmi to come and recite Marcia. Please recite aloud salawat.
Fatiha. صدقے غلام تیری مصیبت کے عالی، اے جانشی جناب رسالت کے عالی، قربان لہو بری تیری صورت کے عالی، ایام تیری شہادت کے عالی، ایام یہ تیری شہادت کے عالی، یہ ظلم بے جہت یہ ستم بے سبب ہوا، تلوار تیرے سر پر کیا تلوار تیرے سر پر لگی کیا غضب ہوا، 19ویں سے آپ کا ماتم عالی، خون ہو گئے دلوں کا یہ عالم عالی، دفتر جہاں کا درہموں برہم عالی، ماہ سیاہ ماہ محرم، ماہ سیاہ ماہ محرم، مولا کی نظر کو گور اشک لائے ہیں، یہ روزے دار آپ کے پرسے کو آئے، یہ روزے دار آپ کے پرسے کو آئے ہیں، مولا شگفتہ ہوا سجدے میں سر تیرا، سید تباہ ہو گیا کوفے میں گر تیرا، سرور علم دلوں کو ہے شام و سحر تیرا، آخری دنوں میں ہوا تھا آخری دنوں میں ہوا تھا سفر تیرا، عالم سے بے خبر تھے، خضوع و خشوع میں تلوار جب لگی تھی جھکے تھے رکوع میں، تلوار جب لگی تھی جھکے تھے رکوع میں، لایا تھا زہر میں وہ جفا جو بجھا کے تیگ، مولا گرے زمین پر سجدے میں کھا کے تیگ، گل پڑ گیا کہ سر پر لگی مرتضیٰ کو تیگ، کھائی خدا کے شیر نے گھر میں، کھائی خدا کے شیر نے گھر میں خدا کے تیگ، گہرا ہے زخم میں فرق امام حجاز پر سر سے ٹپک رہا ہے لہو جان، سر سے ٹپک رہا ہے لہو جان، شیر خدا جو ہاتھوں سے تھامے تھے اپنا سر، خون دونوں کونیوں سے ٹپکتا تھا خاک پر، بھاگا جو ابن ملجم ملعون و بدسیر، پکڑا اسے علی کے محبوں، پکڑا اسے علی کے محبوں، لائے جو ہاتھ باندھ کے مولا کے سامنے، قاتل پہ مسکرا کے، قاتل پہ مسکرا کے نظر کی، فرمایا میں نے کون سی کی تھی تیری خطا، پاداش نیکیوں کی یہی ہے جہاں میں، کیا کیا میں برا امام تھا اے با، کیا میں برا امام تھا اے با، رویا جو سر جھکا کے تو مولا، رویا جو سر جھکا کے تو مولا، اس درد میں بھی سب کے مرض کی دوا ہے ہم، باندھو نہ اس کے ہاتھ کے مشکل، باندھو نہ اس کے ہاتھ کے مشکل، باندھو نہ اس کے ہاتھ کے مشکل کشائیاں۔
Assalamu alaikum. Everybody, please recite loud salawat. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Without further delay, I'd like to invite our speaker for tonight, our youth speaker, Brother Imam Jafri, to the member. Everybody, please recite a loud salawat for him.
محمد و آل محمد صلوات۔ اعوذ باللہ من الشیطان الرجیم، بسم اللہ الرحمن الرحیم، الحمد للہ رب العالمین، والصلاة والسلام علی اشرف الانبیاء والمرسلین، سید الاولین والآخرین ونبینا ابو القاسم محمد، اللہم صلی والصلاة والسلام علی آلہ الطیبین الطاہرین، اما بعد، قال اللہ تعالی فی کتاب المجید والفرقان الحمید، بسم اللہ الرحمن الرحیم، انما یرید اللہ لیذھب عنکم الرجس اہل البیت ویطہرکم تطہیرا۔ عزیزداران امیر المؤمنین، السلام علیکم. We should count our blessings every day that we belong to Shia households. Households that love Imam Ali. Households that hold the vilayat of Amir al-Mu'mineen near and dear to our hearts. Households that mourn the Shahadat of Amir al-Mu'mineen. We are eternally blessed that in Alam Arwa, when we are nothing but mere souls, our souls accepted the vilayat of Noor Muhammad and Ali Muhammad. We should consider ourselves thankful that we've been brought into this world with a destiny and a path ready made for us. Salawat. There's one simple reason as to why the killers of Imam Hussain did what they did on the 10th of Muharram. It was out of hatred for his father, Ali ibn Abi Talib. On the 10th of Muharram, when Imam Hussain posed the question to the Yazidi army, he said, "Why are you killing me? Do you not know who I am? I'm Hussain, grandson of the Prophet Muhammad, the bringer of Islam." To which they replied back, "Bughzan li abik," out of hatred for your father. Wa Muhammad wa ali Muhammad salawat. After our Prophet Muhammad, Imam Ali is the most perfect being ever to be created in this world. As we all know, the Prophet Muhammad was the last prophet, and with Imam Ali started the system of imamat. As we all know, Imam Ali is the best of the best. We all know that he's Jarrad, he's Ghair Farad, he's Hadr Karrar, he's Lisanullah, Wajhullah, Ainullah, Hujjatullah, Siddiq Akbar, Farooq Azam, Sirat al-Mustaqim. Nabal Azim, Imam al-Muttaqiyan, Amir al-Mu'mineen, Ali ibn Abi Talib. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali. Imam Ali has proven time in and time out that he's the best of the best. In Dawat-e-Zul Ashira, he proves it. He proved it in Badr, Uhud, Khaybar, Khandaq, Hunayn, Nahrawan. The list of wars he was a hero in goes on and on and on. He proved it in the Ghadir. He's been proven so many times that he's the best. Yet somehow the world wants to put him at number 4. But wallahi, if the world wants to put him at number 4, then my number line starts at the number 4. Bar Muhammad wa ali Muhammad salawat. We have a plethora of evidences that proves to us that Imam Ali is the best. A lot of times in our Majlis, we look towards our own Shia books for Fazail of Imam Ali. Now the next step above that is when we take sources from our brothers of Ahl Sunnah. Today I want to take the next step up in that ladder and look at why Imam Ali is the best of the best through the lens of the West. We can take religion completely out of the equation today. We won't talk about how Imam Ali was the biggest ibadatgar, a man who was literally killed in his namaz in sajda. I mean, if that's not devotion, then I don't know how much more devoted you can get to God. An arrow was struck in the foot of Imam Ali in one of the wars. And the companions, they were scrambling in a panic state. I mean, they were wondering what to do. Their savior, their leader in war was struck by an arrow. So they're wondering, what are we going to do the next time the kuffar come to attack? So they asked Rasulullah. They said, Rasul, Ali's been struck with an arrow. What should we do? So Rasulullah said, take the arrow out when Ali's in namaz, because when Ali is praying to his Lord, he is so connected to his Lord, he has no awareness of the outside world. It's just him and his Lord. Surely enough, they took out the arrow during namaz, and Imam Ali didn't even feel a pinch. That in itself should prove why Imam Ali is the best of the best. He's got the closest relationship to God, but the crazy thing about Imam Ali is, I don't need to prove to you based off of his spirituality why he is the best of the best. I can simply prove to you logically and based off of his merits why he's the best of the best. And frankly speaking, if you're going to talk to a non-Muslim, Imam Ali's spirituality isn't going to get you very far in the conversation. You need to talk to people who are non-Muslims with their own sources. So we need to hit them with their own sources and prove to them through their own sources why Imam Ali is the best, not our sources. So today, let's take a step outside of our Muslim texts and let's look at the work of Plato. Bar Muhammad wa ali Muhammad salawat. We've all grown up learning about Plato in our schools. Plato is known as one of the best philosophers that has ever walked on this earth, one of the best philosophers in human history. Plato died in about 347 BC, and that's almost about, give or take a century or two, about 800 to 900 years before Imam Ali had came along as well. So yet, Plato is still known as one of the best philosophers that has ever walked on the earth. For over 2,500 years of human history, Plato still holds that spot. Therefore, what he says obviously has a lot of weight in secular society and modern society. One of Plato's most famous works is known as The Republic. It's one of the world's most influential books on political theory and philosophy. So the Republic is a dialogue of Socrates. As some of you guys may know, Socrates never actually wrote down his work, he simply just taught it. So Plato basically goes ahead and writes down Socrates' dialogue that he has about the Republic. The Republic talks about how to make a perfectly just society. So inshallah today we'll touch on 2 points that Plato discusses in his work in the Republic. One point will be about the philosopher king and how Imam Ali fits that role of the philosopher king. The second point that we're going to hit today from Plato's Republic is about the allegory of the cave and how Imam Ali tries to bring out the ummah from the darkness. Bar Muhammad wa Ali Muhammad salawat. So any normal ruler, whether it's a hereditary monarchy, or it be a ruler who gains leadership just by sheer talent and charisma, like Napoleon Bonaparte, they're usually tied up with wealth, power, greed, lust. Plato's idea of the philosopher king, though, is a ruler who's benevolent, just, kind, and altruistic. The philosopher king is a virtuous individual who is just and prevents society from decaying. They're able to prop society up on their shoulders, and because it is in their nature to love truth and learning so much, they are free from the greed and the lust that tempts others to abuse the power that they have. They defend society from the dominance of an aristocracy. Now, as I name these characteristics of the philosopher king, think about how Imam Ali fits that role so well. The philosopher king is the one who puts the needs of the community before his own needs. It is only the philosopher king who can rule a society perfectly. Now let's delve a little bit deeper and see how exactly Imam Ali fits this role of the philosopher king and how Western philosophy is proving to us that Imam Ali is the best of the best. He's in a class of his own. Bar Muhammad wa Ali Muhammad salawat. So as we all know, Imam Ali is the fourth caliph in Islamic history. For us, he's still our first everything. But whatever, my Imam doesn't need a khilafat on this earth. What is Imam Ali going to do sitting on a throne in Kufa when he has his own thrones in heaven? I'd like to see the usurpers try to take that throne from him. They can have the throne. They can be caliphs of hell. That's fine. One day during the khilafat of Imam Ali, his brother Aqil stopped by to pay his brother a visit. They're just sitting on the rooftop talking as two brothers would. Finally, the time for dinner came, and Aqil was ready. He was thinking to himself, tonight, I'm eating with the all-powerful ruler of the Islamic Empire. I don't know if you guys understand truly how big the Islamic Empire really was, but at that time in Imam Ali's reign, the Islamic Empire comprised of the entire Arabian Peninsula. So that includes modern-day Yemen, Oman, Saudi Arabia, Iraq, Iran, Syria, Lebanon, Jordan, Egypt, Tunisia, parts of modern-day Libya. You have parts of Armenia, Georgia, Azerbaijan, Turkmenistan, Uzbekistan, Tajikistan. I just listed off almost 20 countries that Imam Ali is the ruler of. 20 modern-day countries that Imam Ali rules over. And on top of that, I still left out a couple countries that is still in that sphere of influence that he has. So yeah, if you're having dinner with the ruler of the entire Islamic empire, that's a pretty big deal, whether he's your brother or not. If my brother was President Biden, I'd expect, steak, breakfast, lunch, and dinner every single day. I'm eating steak then. If you're eating with somebody of that caliber, you expect good things, right? So Hazrat Aqil, he's probably thinking a chef's coming by with a 5-course meal. He's having steak. They're in Kufa, so maybe they're having kanafa, some baklava. You guys might know better Arab dessert dishes than me, but he's expecting a 5-course meal. The dinner comes by, and to his surprise, it's the most ordinary and simple dinner that he's ever seen. And he asks his brother, he says, Ali, is this all the food? To which Imam Ali replied, saying, isn't it God's gift? I heartily thank Almighty God that He's bestowed me with this gift. So Aqil's sitting there baffled. He's like, okay, well, there's no steaks, there's no good food here, so let me just get right down to business why I've come here. Hazrat Aqil, he informs his brother Imam Ali that he's in a little bit of a predicament. He has some money that he owes, and he needs some help with the debt that he's owed. Fair enough, it's just a brother asking another brother for a little bit of financial help. It literally happens all the time. I mean, I'm telling you guys based off experience, if your brother's not helping you with your money, what's the use of him, right? I'm just kidding, guys. Let's learn to love and respect our brothers from Imam Ali. Although I'm talking about why Imam Ali is a great leader in this story, we can also understand why Imam Ali is also a great brother as well. So Imam Ali asked his brother Aqil, he said, "Oh Aqil, how much is your debt?" To which Hazrat Aqil, he responds back, a whopping 100,000 dirhams. So Imam Ali said, "Oh, 100,000 dirhams, that's so large, brother. I'm sorry, but I don't have so much money to give you. But wait till the time comes for the disbursement of stipends. I shall withdraw my personal share and give from it to you, thus fulfilling my duty of cooperation and brotherhood towards you. If my family and children were not in need of their own expenses, I would give you my entire share, Aqil." Now, Aqil is absolutely astonished, but not in a good way. He's got 100,000 dirham debt to settle. His brother's the ruler of the Islamic Empire. He can't figure out what's happening here. So he questions Imam Ali by saying, "You have the state treasury in your hand, and you're still asking me to wait till the stipends are distributed? And even with that, you will give from me your personal share. You can withdraw any amount that you want from the state treasury. So why are you making me wait till then? Besides, what is your total share from it? Even if you give me your entire share, how far can it relieve me of my troubles?" So Imam Ali replied, he said, I'm surprised to hear your proposal. What concern is it of me or to you of what money is in the treasury or not? We are just like any other Muslims. True, you are my brother, and I must help you out as much as possible, but from my personal money, not from the public treasury. See, even in his dealings with family, Imam Ali is firm in his justice. It's stated in Surah 4, Ayah 135. Allah states in the Quran, He says, "O you who believe, be persistently standing firm in justice, witnessing only for Allah, even if it's against yourself or your parents and your relatives." Now, I know it's not easy when family is brought up. It's not easy to be fair when family is brought up. Suddenly, you have to take the side of your family and give up what's right, because that's kind of just what family is set to do, you know? See, even when his family is asking for injustice, Imam Ali doesn't have the capability to be an unjust human being. He can only act justly, so he denies his brother of the request to take money from the state treasury. Now, of course, his brother is in a predicament, so he's pleading with Imam Ali in various different ways to help him out, give him some money from the state treasury. Now, he continued to insist, so Imam Ali gave him an idea. It just so happened that the place that they were sitting overlooked the marketplace of Kufa. So you can see the cash boxes of the store owners of the marketplace of Kufa. So Imam Ali gives him an idea. He says, "Aqil, if you still insist, then okay, I've got another proposal for you. This will help you square your debt, and you're going to come home with loads of money. Down over there, there's the cash boxes. As soon as the market is closed and nobody is there, go down, break open the box, and take however much you want." Aqil was so shocked to hear his brother say this, and he said, "Ya Ali, whose boxes are they?" To which Imam Ali replied that those are the boxes of the merchants of Kufa, of the store owners of Kufa. Aqil replied back, he said, "Strange, you're telling me to steal from these hard-working poor people who put their trust in God?" So Imam Ali replied back, he said, "Then why are you urging me to open the boxes of the state treasury for you? This also belongs to those same people who are asleep in their houses, carefree and in comfort, putting their trust in me." See, Imam Ali understands what the significance of the trust of his people is that they put into him. Imam Ali then continues and he says, "All right, if that doesn't work for you, I have another suggestion for you. Follow it if you like. If you are ready, then pick up your sword, and so will I. We'll go to the old city of Hira, not far from here. There are leading merchants and wealthy people there. We will make a surprise attack on one of them during the night and take home enormous amounts of wealth." Aqil did not want to have to go through the trouble of committing a crime to square his debt. So he says, "Brother, I haven't come here for theft and robbery that you are suggesting these things to me. I am only asking you to instruct your officials of the treasury to give the money which is in your power so that I can repay my debt." And Imam Ali gave him a beautiful response and said, "Suppose that we steal the property of an individual. Isn't it better than stealing from the property of millions of Muslims? How is it that taking the property of an individual with a sword is robbery and usurping the property of the general public is not? You are under the impression that robbery only means attacking some individual and taking his property by force. The worst type of robbery is the same thing which you are proposing to me to do now. But Muhammad wa ali Muhammad salawat. So we can see through Imam Ali's dealings with his own family that he's a just and benevolent ruler. A ruler who truly cares for his people and the general good of the community more than anything else. Even when he's dealing with his brother, he denied the request of granting him money from the state treasury. However, this is a clear form of embezzlement. The punishment for embezzlement, if any government employee embezzles funds from the state treasury, it's hefty prison time. Therefore, I'd like to take Imam Ali's justice to the next level now. One day, Talha and Zubair came by the house of Imam Ali to discuss things. When Talha and Zubair came by, Imam Ali asked them how he could be of assistance to them. Talha and Zubair, they let Imam Ali know they had something they wanted to discuss with Imam Ali. So Imam, he asked them, is it a personal matter or is it an affair to do with the state? Talha and Zubair let Imam Ali know that this was a personal matter, and just for our own knowledge and for us to gain some knowledge, the matter that Talha and Zubair wanted to discuss was for Imam Ali to include them into the government. Now, everyone wanted to be a part of the government because the Islamic empire was profitable. I told you guys, this is comprising the entire Middle East, the entire modern day Middle East. So it's an extremely profitable place to be governing and to be a part of that government. Some Muslims, they never fought in battle, but they had the audacity to go claim rulership of the Islamic empire because obviously that is such a profitable thing to take rulership over. Others switched sides from right to wrong after the death of the Prophet, but still wanted to be part of the government, obviously because that thing is so profitable. Now, as I said, Imam Ali had found out that this is a personal matter. So at the time that this was taking place, Imam Ali had a candle out. He took that candle, put it out. Now he took a new candle and lit that new candle. Now Talha and Zubair were curious as to why Imam did so, and they asked him, they said, "Oh Ali, why have you put this candle out just to simply light a new one now?" To my knowledge, they didn't have scented candles back then, so it's not like Imam Ali liked the lavender scent of the second candle and he lit the lavender scent of the second candle. No, there's always a reason as to why Imam Ali does what he does. Imam Ali informed Talha and Zubair that the candle was lit when they first came in, and that was a candle from Baytul Mal, from the state treasury. And he said that you guys have told me that you guys are coming on a personal matter, so I put out that candle from the Baytul Mal. I don't want to waste any resources from the state treasury because you guys are coming to me with a personal matter. So I put out my own personal candle then. Now look at the way that Imam Ali handles things. He is so just that he can't even take a candle from the Baytul Mal. That's how just he is. Now this is true justice, true benevolence, and true love for his people. When Imam Ali was caliph, he eliminated poverty. He eliminated poverty. Think about that for just 1 second. Do you understand how much we talk about eliminating world poverty, eliminating world hunger? Imam Ali did that. He eliminated poverty in his empire. When he was caliph, he died in the year 40 after Hijrah. And he was caliph for about 5 years. In the 39th year after Hijrah, there was no longer anybody that can take anything from the Baytul Mal. There was sacks of flour that was in the Baytul Mal untouched because not a single person needed to claim that flour from the Baytul Mal. They all had enough money that they could afford buying their own flour. They didn't have to go to the Baytul Mal. Think about it, man. Imam Ali eliminated poverty. That's how much of a just, benevolent, loving ruler he was. That's how much he was putting the needs of the community before his own needs. But Muhammad wa ali Muhammad salawat. After naming these things, does Imam Ali not fit that role of the philosopher king? According to one of the most famous Western philosophers in human history, is Imam Ali not logically and philosophically speaking the best person to lead the Islamic empire? Who better to rule than a man like Imam Ali? Honestly speaking, who's better? Imam Ali or the man who stole so much from the state treasury that his title is Ghani, a man who when he died, he was discovered with 80,000 dinar from the state treasury. Why would you want option B as your ruler over Imam Ali? A man who would not even use a candle from the state treasury. Par Muhammad wa ali Muhammad salawat. Now, as I said, we'll be hitting two topics, the philosopher king as well as the allegory of the cave. So I'd like to transition over into the allegory of the cave now. So Plato's allegory of the cave, the story basically goes as such. There was a group of people and they all lived in a cave. They were all chained in that cave and they all faced an empty blank wall. Now, behind the prisoners, so this is the wall, here are the prisoners. Behind the prisoners, which they can't see, there's a fire that's lit behind them. And there are some free people, and those free people, they kind of make some shadows basically through the fire so that they could display those shadows to the people who are chained up on the wall then. So Plato basically, all they know is this shadows. They have no other reality of anything. All they think the world is the shadows that are in front of them. Now Plato, he posits that one of these prisoners actually ends up escaping and becomes free. He finds the fire and realizes that, hey, this isn't reality. What I've been seeing for all these years of my life, this actually isn't the truth to reality. After realizing that, he comes out and he climbs out of the cave and he comes into the real world, into the light. So he's in this pursuit of knowledge, of the truth of reality. Now, when he comes back to the cave, he goes down to those people who are, those prisoners who are chained up and seeing nothing but those shadows. And he tells these prisoners about, what's outside. But the problem is he can't see what's going on the shadows anymore because his eyes have become used to the outside world. So he can't see in such darkness anymore. The people in the cave, now they mock him because, they can't understand, they can't comprehend. Their reality is just those shadows and nothing else. So they mock him. And eventually, when he keeps pushing them, hey, come out, come on, let me help you guys. Let me bring you guys up into the light. Let me bring you guys into a better society. Eventually, they become violent and then they kill him. Now, Imam Ali is just like this escaped prisoner. He just wanted the greater good for his people. He wanted to lead them out of the darkness that they were in. However, the people, they didn't want to be guided out, and eventually that's when they killed Amir al-Mu'mineen. They couldn't handle his goodness, his justice, his benevolence, his love for his people. They couldn't handle it anymore. They couldn't handle him trying to bring them out of the light, or out of the darkness. Now on the night of 19th Ramzan, it's finally crept up, and it's become Fajr time. Imam Ali went to Ibn Muljam and he woke him up. He knew that that's his killer, but Imam Ali knew that his time on the dunya is ending. He woke his killer up and Imam Ali gave the last azan of his life. The azan rang throughout the walls of Masjid Kufa. Imam Ali went down in sajda. But when he went down, he didn't come back up from his sajda. Imam Ali held his hand in both of his hands. He yelled out, Fustu bi Rabbil Kaaba. By the Lord of the Kaaba, I am successful. Now that poisonous sword that Ibn Muljam struck him with, the poison in that sword was so strong. One drop of that poison, if you take one drop of that poison and you put it in a river, all of the fishes in that river will perish. Ibn Muljam took his entire sword and struck that sword on Imam Ali's head. Imagine how Imam Ali must feel after being struck with a sword of that nature. They took Ibn Muljam to Imam Hassan. The people of Kufa, they came out from their houses, they ran, they took Ibn Muljam to Imam Hassan. Ibn Muljam had become the prisoner of Imam Hassan. When Imam Ali was informed that Ibn Muljam had been imprisoned to his son, he came to Imam Hassan. He said, Hassan, my son, please make sure you look after his food and water. If I survive, I know what to do with him. But if I am to die, then do not strike him more than one blow. Ya Allah, look at how just Imam Ali is. With his family, he's just, and even with his killer, he is just. Maybe though, it's because Imam Ali knows that his sons and daughters will be treated in the most unjust way. His family will see nothing but injustice after his death. He knew that his son Hussein will be killed. After 3 days of no water and no food, he knew that his daughter Zainab would be taken unjustly to the same place that she was a princess of. No hijab on her head to cover herself in the marketplace that she used to be a princess of. Hi, Karbala, Imam Ali, even in his own death, he cannot stop thinking about Karbala. He must make sure that his own killer is not left thirsty and hungry, because he knows his son Hussein will be left thirsty and hungry. Imam Ali, he was surrounded by his male family members and his faithful followers since the night of the 19th of Ramzan. When the doctors, they had announced that the effect of the poison had reached such a stage that it's not possible for the Imam to survive. Imam, he had asked his faithful followers to leave him now. His followers, they were weeping, they were deeply saddened by this order of his, they didn't want to leave their Mawla. But their Mawla told them, Imam Ali said that these are my last moments. My daughters are eager to be with me. Hearing this, his faithful followers left with tears in their eyes, with a heavy heart that this will be the last time that they see their Mawla. Imam asked his sons to make sure that his followers were far enough from the house that they can't hear the cries of his daughters. It was only after this time that Imam Ali gave his detailed last will and his instructions to his family. He pronounced Imam Hassan as his successor in imamat and the head of the family. Then he called all of his children. He took Bibi Zainab's hand and he placed it in Imam Hassan's hand. He said, Zainab, I give you in the protection of my son Hassan. Then he took Kulsum's hand. He said, Kulsum, I give you in the protection of my son Hassan. One by one, every child's hand was placed in the hand of Imam Hassan, and they were all put in the protection of Imam Hassan, except for one child. One child was left, as every young child does. Hazrat Abbas was upset. He was left by his father. He thought he made his father upset. As every young child does, he was upset, so he ran to his mother. He went to his mother, Balil, and he said, Mama, I think my father Ali is upset with me. He hasn't put my hand in the hand of Hassan. He hasn't put me in my brother Hassan's protection. Balil took us with the Abbas to Imam Ali. She said, oh my Mawla Ali, why have you put everyone's hand in Hassan's hand other than my Abbas? Has my Abbas upset? If my Abbas is upset, you please forgive him. Please forgive me, my Mawla. Imam Ali replied and he said, Abbas, come here, come to me. He said, Abbas, how can I be upset with you, my son? You were the son that I did du'as to have. Abbas, how can I be upset with you? I've saved you, Abbas, for a special occasion. He said, he called over Imam Hussain to his side. He has Hazrat Abbas at his side. He took Imam Hussein's hand and he put Imam Hussein's hand in the hands of Hazrat Abbas. He said, Abbas, I give Hussein in your protection. Take good care of him, Abbas. Don't leave him until he wishes so. And remember this responsibility. I have done dua to have you, Abbas. Take good care of my son Hussein. After this, he then called Imam Hussein to his side. He said, my son, when you will be left alone in Karbala, Hussein, and it is the time of your martyrdom, I ask you to fulfill one wish of mine, just one wish of mine, Hussein. He said, Baba, anything, these are your dying wishes, anything to fulfill your wish. He said, Hussein, when you are going out to the battlefield when no one is left, when you are leaving, take one akhri salam of your sister Zainab and promise me that you will raise her sleeves and kiss the arms of your sister Zainab. My son, after you're murdered, the army of Yazid, they will take Zainab around the bazaars. They will take her parda off of her head. They will tie ropes so hard on her arms that those nishan of the ropes will stay there permanently. Hussein, take the sadqa of my Zainab's bazu. And in that, Imam Ali took his last breaths and he departed from this world. Ali, Matam Ali.
ابن ملجم نے حیدر کو مارا روزے داروں قیامت کے دن ہے ابن ملجم نے حیدر کو مارا روزے داروں قیامت کے دن ہے ہم سے چھوٹتا ہے مولا ہمارا ہم سے چھوٹتا ہے مولا ہمارا روزے دارا قیامت کے دن ہے سونی قبر رسول خدا ہے کل پہ زہرا کے ماتم بکا ہے سونی قبر رسول خدا ہے گھر پہ زہرا کے مات بکا ہے ہکولاتا ہے حیدر ہکولاتا ہے حیدر کا کنبا ہکولار قیامت کے دن ہے ابن ملجم نے حیدر کو مارا روز قیامت کے دن ہے روزے داروں قیامت کے دن ہے علی احمد پہ آفت آئی پیکسوں پہ یتیمی چائی علی احمد پہ آفت آئی پیکسوں پہ یتیمی ہے چائی اٹھ گیا سر سے حیدر کا سایہ اٹھ گیا سر سے حیدر کا سایہ روزے داروں قیامت کے دن ہے ابن ملجم نے حیدر کو مارا روزے داروں قیامت کے دن ہے ابن ملجم نے حیدر کو مارا روزے داروں قیامت کے دن ہے کرم حالت کے حیدر کو مارا جانشین پیغمبر کو مارا کرم حالت کے حیدر کو مارا جانشین پیغمبر کو مارا سجدے میں سرول کو مارا سجدے میں سرول کو مارا روزے داروں قیامت کے دن ہے ملجم نے حیدر کو مارا روزے داروں قیامت کے دن ہے
یا علی مولا حیدر مولا 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 یا علی مولا حیدر
خدا کے شیر کی سوئے نجف چلی میت خدا کے شیر کی سوئے
نجف چلی میاں خدا کے شیر کی سوئے نجف چلی میاں خدا کے شیر کی سوئے نجف چلی ہر سمت ایک شور ہے ہر سمت ایک شور ہے مولا علی علی میاں خدا کے شیر کی سوئے نجف چلی میاں خدا کے شیر کی سوئے نجف چلی شاہزاد شاہزادیاں بابا کو روتے ہیں شاہزاد شاہزادیاں بابا کو روتے ہیں حق ولی کو خلق کے مولا کو روتے ہیں حق ولی کو خلق کے مولا کو روتے ہیں حق ولی کو خلق کے مولا کو روتے ہیں زہرا کے گھر میں کیسی مصیبت یہ آ گئی میاں خدا کے شیر کی سوئے نجف چلی میاں خدا کے شیر کی سوئے نجف چلی دیوار و در ہے نو حقنا شیر سوگوار دیوار و در ہے نو حقنا شیر سوگوار سر کو پٹکتے جاتے ہیں مولا کے جانثار سر کو پٹکتے جاتے ہیں مولا کے جانثار سر کو پٹکتے جاتے ہیں مولا کے جانثار ایک تیغ زہر بار نے دنیا اجاڑ دی میاں خدا کے شیر کی سوئے نجف چلی میاں خدا کے شیر کی سوئے نجف چلی مظلومیت کا حق کا مدد گار مر گیا مظلومیت کا حق کا مدد گار مر گیا بیواؤں کا یتیموں کا غم خار مر گیا بیواؤں کا یتیموں کا غم خار مر گیا بیواؤں کا یتیموں کا غم خار مر گیا مشکل کشا جدا ہوا مشکل یہ آ گئی میاں خدا کے شیر کی سوئے نجف چلی میاں خدا کے شیر کی سوئے نجف چلی زینب کی نظر بابا کو پائیں گی اب کہاں زینب کی نظر بابا کو پائیں گی اب کہاں کلثوم رو
روتی جاتی ہے لے لے کے ہچکیاں
کلثوم روتی جاتی ہے
لے لے کے ہچکیاں کلثوم روتی جاتی ہے لے لے کے ہچکیاں بابا کی یاد آتی ہے ہر وقت ہر گھڑی میت خدا کے شیر کی سوئے نجف چلی میت خدا کے شیر کی سوئے نجف چلی
یا علی مولا حیدر مولا یا علی مولا حیدر مولا یا علی مولا یا علی مولا یا علی مولا
حیدر مولا یا علی مولا حیدر مولا
اللہم صلی علی محمد السلام علیکہ یا مولا یا ابا عبداللہ السلام علیکہ علی جدک و ابیک و امک و اخیک والائمۃ المعصومین من ولدک و بنیک السلام علیکم ورحمۃ اللہ وبرکاتہ السلام علیکہ یا مولا یا غریب الغرباء السلام علیکہ یا شمس الشموس یا انیس نفوس السلام علیکہ ایہا المدفون بعرضتوس السلام علیکہ یا اہردار عاد والقد والقضاء السلام علیکم ورحمۃ اللہ وبرکاتہ السلام علیکہ یا مولا یا صاحب العصر والزمان السلام علیکہ یا شریک القرآن السلام علیکہ یا مظہر الایمان السلام علیکہ یا خلیفۃ الرحمن السلام علیکہ یا شریک القرآن اجل اللہ تعالی فرجک وسہل اللہ مخرجک وظہورک وجعلنا من اعوانک وانصارک وشیعتک محبیک السلام علیکم ورحمۃ اللہ وبرکاتہ
نوے ہے زبان کے ساتھ دل بولا